All right. Hi, everybody. Happy Friday. It's morning, and it's Friday, and this is when I do my show. Hope you're ready for another Funky Friday on the Morning 9 Live. How you doing today? I can barely hear myself. There we go. I am happy to be here. I hope you are too. I'm ready for the show. I hope you are too. We're going to get caught up today because I've spent so much time talking about Canada that I guess I just need to get caught up on some stuff that I haven't talked about at all. And so there's a whole bunch out there that we're going to get onto. And so that's the show today. I wonder if there's a way to turn this down. No, that changes the thing. No, that just changes how other people hear shit. Anyway, let's start our Funky Friday on the Morning 9 Live. Johnny, play the intro.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, PDawgKnight.
Stop the music. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as PDawgKnight on the internet. And welcome to the Morning Night Live. I said that already, didn't I? It's Friday, the 18th of February, 2022. What is it, 4 days until my 29th wedding anniversary. We're excited about that. We're actually taking our neighbors, our next door neighbors, who we are friends with and enjoy their company. We're going to take them to this thing called the Van Gogh, what is it? The Van Gogh something experience, where they take all these Van Gogh paintings, they put them they turn them into an interactive 3D kind of experience. We're going to go see that, and just, go have a nice meal, whatnot. And so we're spending the day we're celebrating our anniversary with our friends on Sunday. And I'm not sure if we're going to do a trail stop stream tomorrow. We may not. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But anyway, as you know, Friday is Funky Friday. It's Funky Friday on the Morning Night Live. Hopefully I have the music level close to being right. I'm going to turn it down just a tiny bit. Hopefully that'll work, just to have a little ambiance. A little ambiance in the background, but not too much. I want you to be able to hear me, of course. And welcome to the show. Like I said, in my pre-intro, we're going to just get caught up on some news. I have been kind of hung up on this story of our neighbors to the north, Canada. I got to stop saying that. I know that annoys some Canadians when people say that, but I find humor in it. I don't know why. It's just because it sounds like a dumb American talking about Canada. You know what I mean? So I'm just gonna, maybe I'll roll with it, maybe I won't. But please, my Canadian friends, who you know I love, I hope you're not offended by that. I don't know why I find humor in it. Anyway, let's say good morning to the troops who are in the chat, and we're going to continue with the show after that. First in the chat today was our good friend Tyre Alexander, who has a new subheading that says Prometheus Unchained. Welcome to the show. You are the first, and you got the bell, and I can't even hear it. What the hell happened there? Let's try that again. There we go. There's the bell. And there's everyone is excited that you are here. Welcome to the show, and congratulations on being first. Also in the chat today, Advocatus Diablo, the Devil's Advocate. James Colley, there will be no recounts. I'm sorry, sir. Also, good morning, Mike Savage, Blarg. Also, hello to Aaron Meredith. Welcome to the show. Also, good morning to Mike. Oh, I said Mike Savage. Apparently, it was stormed last night here. We had no power for about 4 hours this morning. Back on by 11 a.m. Yes, the storm of the century hit the British Isles apparently yesterday. I keep seeing all the stuff about it, but it doesn't look like it was. Well, I don't know. I don't know what happened there. Maybe you can fill us in a little bit, Mike, on that. Also, good morning to Tall Person. Welcome to the show. Also, hello to Kessler's in the house. Nice to see you. Midnight in Exile. Keenan's here. Tyler F is here. DI Freighter Watcher. Willett Forge. Nice to have you here. Also, Kay Shull is in the house. Selecta Boy is here.
Yeah, boy.
Also, good morning to well, now I just actually scrolled too fast, so maybe I missed some people. If I did, I'll get caught up eventually, or I might just say your name twice, because sometimes I don't always remember who I said hi to already. But I do see Midnight next time. I say Black Hebrew Israelites in the
That's
house. Right. Maniac Man, Willett Forge. I'm seeing all kinds of things. It's all kinds of things, people, places, and whatever not. I'm trying not to be offensive, even though sometimes I'm just that to some people. And you can't please. What is it? What's that song? It's all right now. I learned my lesson well. Sometimes you can't please everyone, so you got to please yourself. Well, I'm a master at pleasing myself, and okay, that didn't sound right. Anyway, good morning, Cannibalistic Wizard too. Nice to have you back here. All right. By the way, a couple thank yous already. Thank you, Zach Osborne, and wait, Jaded Emerald Pilled, Terry MS Fighter. Now, is that a new? I know that I follow you, or I know that I've seen you on Twitter. Oh, Jaded Emerald, duh. That's who it is. I'm trying to figure out whose name is that, but I do know that already. So, there's a whole lot going on in the news, right? There's a whole bunch of stuff going on in the news, and so we're just going to get caught up. Now, a couple things I got to do. I got to move this over here. As you know, when I do my daily, what I call it, the single link of articles that we put at the end of the show that I add to the description. As you know, I'm also adding all of my other handles on other platforms. So for example, if you want to find me on Minds, Gab, Cloud Hub, Parler, etc. The other one's Getter, and because I do notifications on all my platforms, right? So if you're one of those unfortunate or maybe fortunate people who've been yeeted from the old Twitter machine, you can follow me on those, and I always send out notification on those platforms too. So those are always good. They're also going to be down in the description. Also, every story, everything we cover today will be also in that one single link in the second paragraph of the description. So you'll always be able to find anything we talk about there. If you want to, use that to, recall articles, use it for a blog, use it for posting wherever you want to post it. That's what that's for. So every day during the outro, I announce that. Also, good morning to Snoopy with the double zero. Snoopy, nice to see you again. Welcome back. And all right, some parts of Cork and Kerry lost power and are still out being worked on. Britain got hard hit, 120-mile-an-hour winds in a few areas, lots of rain. I slept through most of it. Oh, well, there you go. Oh, that's my theme song playing right now. I forgot that this is in my little playlist here. The name of this song is "Believe in You and Me" by the New Fools. I don't know if you can find it anywhere but Epidemic Sound, which is the music service I use for the shows that I can have music and not get it yeeted. But anyway, yeah, thank you, Mike, for letting me know. And parts of Cork, that is where that's where my Irish family is from. They were all from Cork, Ireland. My 4 great-grandparents on my mother's side, or no, yeah. Well, yeah, all 4 of my mother's grandparents immigrated here from the Cork area of Ireland in the, I want to say in the early teens, prior, actually, might have been prior to World War I, or was it after? I can't remember. I'm going to have to go back into the family history, but one of these days we are going to take a trip to Ireland and make it a point to go to Cork to actually look through public records there. Although there is the Minnesota Genealogical Society, which is located about 2 miles north of where I live, actually has the largest depository of Irish records of people who immigrated from Ireland anywhere in the United States. I don't know why they have it, but they do. So one of those days, Lady Boomer and I are going to go up there and check it out too. So very interesting stuff. All right, shall we talk about what's happening in the world? I want to just get you caught up on a whole bunch of stuff today. Now, and I'm using our favorite or least favorite place to do it, and that would be Twitter. So, as we talked a lot about the state of emergency in Canada yesterday. Oh my goodness! By the way, I do have my cup of reparations right here. I'm going to move this microphone because I have it too close to my face. I'm going to move it so I can... There. Is that better? Can you hear me okay? I want to just make sure. How's the music level, by the way? I'm trying to keep it down, although for whatever reason, I hear it really loud, so it's kind of hard to concentrate. But I like to also hear my own voice, and I have to turn my... one of these days, I'm going to learn how to use this mixing board and make it so that I only hear what I want to hear, but so that you can hear what you need to hear. One of these days I'll figure it out. Whatever. So, negative now. Selected. How do you do in seconds? All right. So, let's do this. Let's start with Canada, because since I've been talking about it all week, apparently, Mika Matina has subscribed. Well, welcome, Mika Matina. I'm not sure who that is. If you're in the chat, say hi. If you're not, I'll catch you the next time you are, but thank you for subscribing to the channel. I hope you're not a bot. Oh, Midnight Exile, your family's from Cork also. We could be cousins. Well, if you are an O'Connor from Cork, we very well could be cousins. You never know. I can tell you. Okay, Cannibalistic Wizard, if you can tell me what I can't hear you over the music, then I'm certainly assuming you can hear me. Good morning, Balin Bobby, by the way. So I might be able to help you with that mixer. I was an audio engineer for 20 years. Well, we may have to talk. I mean, I kind of got it down. It's just that the problem is I have the computer audio. I have it all coming through the mixing board on one channel, and I can turn that down for me, but then I would be turning it down for you. I also have a monitor that I have my headset plugged into that kind of gets every sound that's coming through. So I don't know, one of these days I'll figure it out, but maybe you can help me out. I don't know. What's the difference between your wife and your job? After 10 years, your job still sucks. Oh, we're telling jokes already. This is not the trail stop stream yet, but that's funny. That's wrong, but it's funny. Wrong figuratively. No, it's wrong. Well, never mind. I don't need to go into that. Anyway, all right, let's talk about Canada. So apparently, Trudeau is now facing some legal challenges as far as his emergency declaration is going. And there's an article in the Toronto Sun. Now, I'm curious, for those of you who are from Canada, is the Toronto Sun a little more to the right than the rest of Canadian papers? Because I've read a couple articles that have been slightly critical of Justin Trudeau, and I'm not used to seeing that from Canadian papers. But anyway, the system is fighting back as Castro faces legal challenges. The Prime Minister faces at least two major legal challenges, as well as potential investigation from the Federal Privacy Commissioner. I said privacy like someone from the other side of the pond. Hello, Jesse Leon. And there could be more to come. First, there was the announcement from the Canadian Constitution Foundation that they would be commencing an urgent application for judicial review at a federal court. Trudeau has set a dangerous precedent. I remember what I said yesterday. The precedent you set from your favorite politicians can come back to bite you in the booty. They're saying that Trudeau sets a dangerous precedent by invoking the never-before-used Federal Emergencies Act to address the current situation, explained CCF Litigation Director Christine Van Gyn. The high threshold for declaring a public order emergency in the Emergencies Act has not been met. Van Gyn continues, this is illegal and violates the rule of law, and that's why we're challenging the government in court. The Emergencies Act is done via order in council, and such orders can be challenged by federal court, so the court can rule against Trudeau's use of this extraordinary measures. Interest in the CCF's legal challenge was so great that when it was first announced Thursday afternoon, their website crashed. A similar announcement was made by the Canadian Civil Liberties Association on the same day. They're also seeking a review on the basis that the measures are unconstitutional, and their website also crashed. You could argue that any kind of protest at any time, anywhere constitutes a national emergency. That's what I was thinking. Imagine if your opponents get this power and one of your favorite causes begins to protest somewhere. You could argue, okay, that's what the CCLA Executive Director Noah Mendelsohn Aviv said at a press conference explaining why the current situation does not justify invoking the act. When it comes to the ongoing... Oh, wait, someone's answering my question. Poor guy, legal challenge on top of mental ones, yes. If they want to keep the integrity of Canada whole, they are going to have to Mussolini Trudeau. Ouch, babe. Good morning, Nunya Beeswax, by the way. I see you in the chat. Anyway, there are those who are taking the Emergency Act question as a referendum on whether or not to support the Freedom Convoy, but it shouldn't be that way. The question is whether or not the current measures are right, and expert opinions are saying it isn't. So he's getting some pushback, not necessarily from people who are supporting the convoy, too. They're just supporting the rule of law in Canada. Good for them. Good morning, Brent Hayes. All right, let's just keep going because I got a whole bunch of news that we got to get caught up on. Now, we've been talking about, or at least you've been hearing about Ukraine in the news. And so on Twitter here, Ukraine says that Putin to personally oversee huge nuclear drills on Saturday amid the current tension. But it says Russia has confirmed that President Vladimir Putin will personally oversee military drills involving strategic forces on Saturday. The exercise will include multiple practice launches of intercontinental ballistic missiles and cruise missiles, the country's defense ministry said. So that's weird. Oh boy. I am really torn on this. Is this some crazy shit Putin's doing? Because remember, there was supposed to be an attack on the 16th of February. There was all the media, the people in America are saying, oh yes, there's going to be an attack. The Russians are going to invade Ukraine on the 16th of February, and it's looking like everyone knows about it, yada, yada, yada. And then I find out, today's the 18th. Okay, so that didn't happen, but they're still, I don't know what the hell's going on. I just don't get it. I don't get it. Huge nuclear drills. I want one. All I got is an electric drill. Well, I have a couple electric drills. I have a couple cordless electric drills, and a nuclear drill would be something else, especially. But it would probably, wouldn't you think of how many Phillips head screwdrivers you'd screw, or not necessarily the screwdriver themselves, but how many Phillips head screws you would screw up and just rip a new, slots in with a nuclear powered drill. Anyway, so this news is all over the place. It's in the now here in France 24 though says amateur image casts doubt on Russia's claims that troops are withdrawing from the Ukraine border, because they said they were removing some troops from there. But the HuffPost is all over this, and all the media. Well, this is what happened to. They must have redone this. Wall Street Journal. Leader of Russian-controlled region of eastern Ukraine urged civilians to evacuate to Russia immediately as shelling intensified along the front line. Now, what is that? What shelling? Someone this morning at work is like, "Hey, did you hear about the Russians sending mortars into Turkey?" And I'm like, "What? No, I haven't. It's not in any of the news I see, and I see news all the time." Renovacio, what's happening? Let's see. Renovacio says Putin and Belarus's Lukashenko just announced via live stream both countries are now in a formal military alliance and will build up their forces facing Europe effective immediately. So I know part of this is due to the fact that there's been rumors and or interest in Ukraine joining NATO, and there's they're not what's his name, not Lukashenko, that's the guy from Belarus, but anyway, the guy from Ukraine has been saying, we don't know, we're not sure, blah blah blah, hemming and hawing, and whether or not Ukraine is interested in joining NATO, and so that has the Russians concerned, and I don't know what to make of all this, but it's not. I'm not happy that all this crap's going on, and I don't know what to make of it. If they haven't accepted the eventuality of that, then they may as well surrender now. I don't know. Biden pokes bear with a stick. Come on, man. Yeah, I don't know. This is all. I'm just hoping that we don't have another conflict out of this, and I wish I knew more about Eastern European geopolitics. But I tell you what, the American media is just, it's almost Zelensky. Thank you, Avocados Diablo. The American media is just, they are just, it's almost like they're excited about this. Anything the Biden administration says, they will repeat, and but I don't know if this is this some wag the dog shit? I have no idea. But it looks like they're actually, they're definitely Russian forces on those borders. I don't know what to make of it. NATO flagged the Russian invasion, thereby delaying it, but it was only delayed, not stopped. Putin couldn't attack using the current plan, knowing Ukraine had their mark. Okay, and that's interesting too. So I just can't rely on our media, so it helps if those of you who are closer to that region. I wish, it was here the other day, who lives in Russia. It was interesting hearing their perspective, especially on the possibilities of Ukraine joining NATO, and that being kind of a, not necessarily a hair trigger, but a definite concern for Russia. So I don't know. I think everyone, if it seems like our media though, man, if they can get some more going, it might change our economy, because they don't want to talk about the economy. They don't want to talk about inflation. They don't want to talk about immigration. They don't want to talk about, a possible new trucker convoy going to Washington, D.C. for the State of the Union. Boy, but war gets their juices flowing, doesn't it? It's there. Woo, boy. So anyway, everyone has their live updates and stuff. So there's a whole tab on this that I will leave in the link below. Let's move on. Also in the news, a judge has ruled that Trump and his children must testify in the New York Attorney General's investigation. The New York Supreme Court Judge Arthur Engoron ruled on Thursday that former President Donald Trump and his two eldest children, Donald Trump Jr. and Ivanka, must sit for depositions in the civil investigation into their business practices. The judge denied the Trump's effort to quash the subpoenas issued in December by New York Attorney General Letitia James, ruling that the OAG had sufficient basis for continuing its investigation, which undercuts the notion that this ongoing investigation is based on personal animus, not facts and law. Really? Because that's kind of interesting, because she campaigned on this, and we have a little bit of update about Letitia James. I think unless I accidentally, I might have accidentally closed that one though. Anyway, she has, so the Democrats of New York had their convention, and Letitia James has withdrawn herself from the race for governor and is back in the race for attorney to remain as attorney general. But it's interesting, when they were talking about this yesterday, she did not mention the word Trump or Cuomo in that effort, which is fascinating. Good morning, Check Your Logic. Happy early anniversary, PDawgKnight, and happy early birthday, Maniac Man. Both are on Monday. Oh, Maniac Man, is your birthday Monday? Oh, happy birthday. Good to know. Happy birthday to you now, because I don't know if you'll be here on Monday, but it's nice to have you here. No, she doesn't. This is so much railroad. Oh, I'm telling you, I find this whole thing, I find it a little bit humorous. Because what she's going after them for is saying that they were cheating on taxes by giving fraudulent valuations of their properties. Okay, and the problem with that angle, and I'm not sure how she's pushing this, but apparently she got a judge in New York. Shocker, to go along with this. The problem with this whole scenario is Donald Trump and his family do not set valuations for the properties that they own and or are buying themselves. They don't do that. The banks who loan them money set the valuations and go through a very, very strenuous and arduous process of due diligence and appraising and everything for buildings. So they loan based on their own appraisers. Donald Trump doesn't say, well, my building's worth $20 billion and you need to give me 19. That's not how it works. The lenders have to go do their own due diligence and appraisal and things like that for lending purposes. And then for tax purposes, that's the state's job, or the county or the city or whatever the entity which the property is located must do. The Trumps don't set their own valuations for tax purposes either. So when you have valuations for tax purposes and or for lending purposes, sometimes those valuations do not equal each other. In fact, it's very unusual if they do equal each other, because sometimes there's different laws for how much a property can be valued at for a tax purposes, because there's maximum change values, et cetera, et cetera. So I've been through several of these commercial building loans, because I used to do that for a living. And I'm sorry, I'm not sure how she's going to get to the idea that, well, Trump fraudulently valued his properties. How? Because nothing he says matters when it comes to valuation of his properties, neither for taxes or for getting a loan. It doesn't work that way. So it'll be interesting to see how she goes through this. But anyway, the media, barking seals are all excited about this, and they're just, this is just, put out. They got a big old boner for this, and so it's on every single news outlet, especially MSNBC, who hates Trump, and ABC News, and all these guys are all talking about it. This is going to be interesting, and I don't know. So now they're saying, okay, he must have a deposition for this, and now here's the thing: this is the civil portion. And so the big thing on this is that anyone pleading the Fifth, so because the Fifth Amendment has been brought up quite a bit in the last couple days, saying that if he pleads the Fifth in a civil case, that can be used against him. It can't be used against you in a criminal case, but if he testifies in the civil case, that can be used against him in a criminal case. What? I don't know where they're going with this. I don't know how there could even be any case, but they're going to go ahead with it. Let's see where it goes. This is going to be comical. It's funny though. Whenever it comes to something Trump, I don't know. You thought some other politicians were Teflon. It's amazing. I know that he has a nickname, Teflon Don, but it doesn't seem like anything they do to him sticks, and it always comes back to bite them in the ass. So, I'm just gonna keep watching. Let's move on, because I got a lot of news to get caught up on, and if I get not caught up most of it, then I'll come back to a couple, because there's a couple of articles. Well, there's one article in particular that I really want you to see about our friends to the north, at least in my book, because I live in Minnesota and my friends to the north is Canada. All right, so I had to visit my family. We left. This conversation got turned into politics. By the end, I was doing the Sam Kinison scream. Oh! Yeah, I'm familiar with that. I enjoyed the comedy stylings of Sam Kinison. Goodbye, bot. Go to hell. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. All right, moving on. The Durham Probe is interesting. Now, Fox News has been covering it. The other media have been poo-pooing it. But this is an interesting article in Fox News. Durham Probe proves the media would rather ignore a major story than expose their role in covering it up. Yes, their role in covering it up. Pediatricians call it breathe hold spells. It is when children hold their breath when upset until they experience syncope or passing out. The media in Washington appears close to a collective fate over the recent filings of special counsel John Durham. While the media has largely buried or downplayed the alarming disclosures by Durham on the origins of the Russian conspiracy claims, Durham keeps adding new details implicating top Democratic figures in what he describes as an ongoing investigation. You can only hold your breath so long, and Durham shows signs that he is done. No signs that he is done by a long shot. The latest disclosures by Durham are difficult for many in the media to cover because they directly refute years of prior coverage. Many in the media lampooned Donald Trump for claiming the FBI and the Clinton campaign spied on Trump Tower and his campaign. Yet, we later find that the FBI did spy on the campaign in 2020. The media largely ignored that finding. That is when the first stage of syncope, holding your breath till you pass out, began. The prodrome with signs of media discomfort, extreme fatigue, weakness, yawning, nausea, dizziness, and vertigo. Now, Durham has told a court that he has evidence that Clinton operatives exploited access to systems at the Trump Tower, Trump's apartment building, and the executive office of the President of the United States. The operation allegedly not only targeted the campaign and the Trump Tower, but continued after the election. We are now in the second, I'm probably saying this wrong, but anyway, syncopal phase, loss of media consciousness. There's no way to cover this story without admitting that it facilitated a false narrative created by the Clinton campaign, including attacking those who suggested that Clinton campaign would ever engage in such disreputable conduct. The filings reveal more details on how the Clinton campaign funded and directed the development of the now debunked narrative of a conspiracy theory between Russia and the Trump campaign. What is also notable in the filing is the extent of which the Clinton campaign used lawyers to carry out its work, including hiding its funding while denying connection to the work of figures like Christopher Steele. Yes, they paid Christopher Steele handsomely. Anyway, the new information was revealed in a filing raising conflicts of interest in the law firm of Latham Watkins, which is representing indicted former Clinton lawyer Michael Sussman. The firm has represented other Clinton-related figures. It was a fitting objection in a case where a circle of Democrat lawyers and law firms have featured prominently, as well as the liberal think tank, the Brookings Institution. The cross-pollination of these law firms is one of the least discussed elements in the scandal. The Durham filings repeatedly returned to the work of Perkins Coie, a firm with long and deep connections to the Democratic Party. The Clinton campaign used a screen of lawyers to hide that it was behind the Russian conspiracy claims. The key to many of these operations is someone referred to by Durham as campaign lawyer number one, who is widely believed to be then Perkins' partner and Clinton campaign general counsel Mark Elias. And Elias was called before the grand jury. It was Elias who made the key funding available to Fusion GPS, which in turn enlisted Steele to produce his now discredited dossier on Trump and his campaign. The firm listed these payouts as legal fees. During the campaign, a few reporters did ask about the possible connection to the campaign, but Clinton campaign officials denied any involvement. It was only weeks after the election that journalists discovered that the Clinton campaign allegedly hid payments for the Steele dossier as, quote, legal fees, end quote, among the $5.6 million paid to Perkins Coie. New York Times reporter Ken Fogel said at the time that Elias denied involvement in the anti-Trump dossier, so that was it. He denied it. They didn't do it. No, wait. When Vogel tried to report the story, he said Elias pushed back vigorously, saying, "You or your source are wrong." Times reporter Maggie Haberman declared folks involved in funding this lied about it, and with sanctimony for a year. Elias, whatever, is also reportedly sat next to campaign chair John Podesta when he also reportedly denied the connection. Lord Stanhope, how's it going? Nice back. We at war with the Soviet Union yet? Well, we're just debating whether or not the Soviet Union's going to regroup. Anyway, so Sussman was indicted for allegedly hiding his representation of the Clinton campaign as he spread a different Russian collusion allegation involving the Trump Organization and Russia's Alpha Bank. Elias also referenced meetings in that operation. Sussman filed a response this week and asked the court to strike the entirety of the factual section of the Durham filing as unsubstantiated and sensational. That could open the door for Durham in response to substantiate these claims even further. Bring it, bitch, he says. Durham added details showing how Perkins Coie used its attorney-client relationship to further the Russian conspiracy operation for the campaign. He alleges that Elias and Sussman hired an internet executive, Rodney Jaffe, to help build the foundation for the claim. Jaffe alerted Sussman about the Alpha Bank claims on by July 2016, and over the ensuing weeks, as a part of their lawyer-client relationship, Sussman and Jaffe engaged in efforts with campaign lawyer number one, Elias. The use of lawyers to shield such work is nothing new in Washington. During the Nixon administration, lawyers they invoked Nixon, I love it, were used to extensively maintain slush funds and enable dirty trick operations. Now, what is striking about the Durham filings is the audacity of the Perkins Coie operation. While the funding was buried away, the lawyers were seemingly unconcerned about approving such efforts or personally reaching out to sympathetic government and media figures. They were, to some degree, justified in their sense of immunity. Indeed, to this day, many refute to cover extensive evidence of how, the media refuses to cover extensive evidence of how the Clinton campaign manufactured this story that largely occupied the entire term of President Donald Trump before the Steele dossier was given to the FBI and the press. The then CIA Director John Brennan briefed former President Obama on a Clinton alleged plan to tie candidate Trump to Russia. as a means of distracting the public from her use of a private email server. That operation appears to have been launched through Elias and Perkins Coie. Now, this goes on for a little more, but the point of this story is the media, other than Fox News, who are right-wing nut jobs, are not following this story as closely, or they're finding ways to poo-poo it every chance they get. If it were Thursday, I would say FTG, but I'm just going to put this picture on the screen just for your enjoyment, because I know this is exactly, and I mean exactly what you want to see. So there you go. Okay, here's the thing. Let me do this real quick. Will Hillary Clinton ever be held accountable? And this is just a yes or no question. Will Hillary Clinton ever be held accountable for any of this crap? I didn't add the words "for this crap," but will she ever be held accountable? I'm never going to hold my breath for that one, because it could be a very long time. She could be on her deathbed before she's ever held accountable, in my opinion, but you can answer the question yourself. Moving on, let's just tell you what else. Oh, here, this is important. If you know anyone, any expectant or new mothers, or mothers who still give their child baby formula, the FDA has warned consumers not to use Similac, S-I-M-I-L-A-C. If people with babies probably know what that is. Do not use Similac baby formula after reports of bacterial infections in infants. I can certainly open the Useless Today article too, which is right here. Baby formula recall in 2022. FDA warns customers not use select Similac and Alimentum or Elecare. There's 3 different types here. Please do not use those. But good morning, Septus Wolves. Good morning, Devil Fruit Zero. So Abbott Nutrition is voluntarily recalling 3 types of infant formula after 4 babies became sick with bacterial infections after consuming the products. Now, part of the reason I decided to feature this, 1, public service announcement, but 2, let's read that sentence again and see. let's just think about this. Abbott Nutrition is voluntarily recalling 3 types of infant formula after 4 babies became sick with bacteria infections after consuming the products. That's famous. Fabulous. That's fascinating. Fascinating. Live long and prosper. 4 infants, babies, became sick. Now, I gotta wonder, how is it that the FDA, the FDA didn't necessarily ask them to. So the Food and Drug Administration warned consumers not to use or purchase the formulas or certain powdered infant formulas produced at the facility. They're investigating complaints of 4 infant illnesses from 3 states, the agency said in a statement on Thursday. All 4 cases related to these complaints were hospitalized, and Chronobacter may have contributed to a death in 1 case. Wow. Now, the reason I'm fascinated by this is we currently are using some substances that are being jabbed into people's bodies that have also had some problems, more than 4, I would say, and none of those are being recalled. I compare and contrast. If you don't know what I'm talking about, someone will tell you what I'm talking about in the chat. All right, let's move here. Let's keep going. Yes, Tessa, there you go. So they stop at 4 deaths because of formula, but how many murdered by the injection of vacation? The FDA, revolving door of big pharma and government. Now, oh, by the way, if you haven't seen Project Veritas's new, it's a blur. I haven't seen the video, but I know there's a blurb on Project Veritas, how the FDA works, and basically, the FDA doesn't really test anything themselves. The companies that present things self-test and then send their data and research to the FDA, and then the FDA approves things by that. But the FDA is also basically given millions and billions of dollars by these people that they're testing, that are doing this testing. It's kind of a what's a name for that? It's a weird wash your hands operation. I didn't really know that. I thought the FDA actually did testing of their own, but then as I'm listening, for example, to Fauci talk about the current slowdown, because they're testing the Fauci juices for kids like 0 to 4 years old, right? Or 1 to 4, whatever, they're for babies, basically. And when he said something about how they're pulling back on this approval process because the companies are doing more testing, and I thought, wait, the companies are doing testing. The company is the ones who come in and they do their own testing, and then they give the money to the FDA so they can review the testing. Man, that's an interesting way to do things. I'm just like, and it's funny because they got some of these drugs approved really, really fast, and it's just, oh boy, I don't know. Anyway, Anna Lynn, what's happening? Also, Resolute Gem, nice to see you. Yeah, so it's weird. So go check out, if you haven't seen Project Veritas's latest video. I haven't even seen it. I just saw a blurb of it, and I was like, that little blurb was one of those things that make you go, things that make you go, things that make you go, you know what I mean? That is, who does that? That was, it's the same song that does same group that does Everybody Dance Now. I can't remember the name of the group. Someone will come up with it in the chat. All right, let's move on. Boycott Walgreens is trending on Twitter right now. Apparently, Walgreens. This is Occupy Democrats. I don't know if they're actually part of the Democrat Party. They call themselves a grassroots political organization that supports progressive Democrats. New York Times reported that our reach has dominated Trump on Facebook for 6 years running now. Well, I don't know if it had dominated Trump for 6 years running. How did Donald Trump become president of the United States, you jackholes? Anyway, they're asking people to boycott Walgreens because, breaking news, Walgreens is busted making campaign donations to 11 members of what they call the Republican Sedition Caucus, breaking the pledge that it made after Trump's January 6th insurrection to suspend contributions to Congress members who tried to steal Biden's win. Okay, whatever. Oh, whatever. So they're calling for a boycott of Walgreens. In fact, it says here, if you're a Democrat who's angry at Walgreens for having been exposed, continuing to contribute to 11 Republican members of Congress who tried to steal Biden's win, breaking their promise after Trump's deadly January 6th insurrection, please retweet and follow us for more breaking news. Well, not going to do it, but there's a lot of people saying boycott Walgreens. Oh, look at that cat. Looks kind of angry. Angry cat. Anyway, Rite Aid was acquired by Walgreens in 2015. So even if you go to Rite Aid, you can't avoid it. And, who cares? This is why they're boycott. The boycott Walgreens was trending today. And honestly, they give money to Republicans and Democrats because everybody is in bed with these corporations, and they take money from whoever they can to stay in power. So I'm at a point where go to hell. But I'm, yes, Tyre says I'm going to swing by Walgreens tomorrow because of this, and I already use them as my primary pharmacy. So yeah, do we use Walgreens? Yeah, we do use Walgreens as a pharmacy. Hopefully my mother-in-law won't see this and decide that we have to go get a prescription somewhere else. All right, also trending, okay, wait, I gotta hold up. I gotta tell you, you know who else is trending today? And I'm like, okay, first of all, I rolled my eyes as soon as I saw the name trending today. David Duke is trending today. Yes, David Duke is trending on Twitter today. Now, I bet you're wondering, what the hell did David Duke do? Okay, so there's my poll. I'm going to end the poll. 29 votes. Wow, there's 29 people here. Holy shit. Awesome. Oh, well, before I talk about David Duke, okay, I'm ending the poll. Almost 100%. Somebody said yes, that she will eventually be held responsible. I doubt it, but it's okay. Are we in World War III yet? No, we're not. Not that I know of. Okay, before I go into why David Duke is trending. And yes, it's David Duke, all right. Swear to God, it's David Duke trending. I need chill. Hey, the Morning Night Live is brought to you by you, the viewers of the Morning Night Live. If you are here and haven't hit the like button yet, well, what the hell is wrong with you? Hit the like button. Oh, we got 36 people here. I love it. Hit the like button. Share the stream before, during, and after the stream. If you're watching on replay, put a comment in the comment section so that I know you were here and I can say, hey, or just press that little heart button. It'll give you that little heart thing, and then you'll have a heart on your screen. We're not talking about Jeffrey Toobin. And then if you want to sponsor the show, I will always be very grateful and also read whatever message you put up, especially if you do it through YouTube Super Chat and or Streamlabs at PDawgKnight.live. Because if you go to PDawgKnight.live, up in this corner, there will be a little box there where you can donate to the show. You can watch the show on the screen there, and then the chat will be right over there, just like it is on your screen now. And you can participate, and if you get if you have a revelation or a great epiphany that you need me to say right at that minute, well, it doesn't hurt to throw $1 in the tip jar, and then I will read it right then and there. And I won't miss it in the chat because I'm not the best at watching the chat. I try to watch the chat, but So anyway, that is my shill. It is how I put food on my table and keep my internet service going. So there you go. All right. Where was I? David Duke is trending. Can you believe it? David freaking Duke is trending. And it is David Duke. But, there you go. There you go. I speak and you shall be rewarded. We have a new sponsor for the show today. Now, I'm not particularly sure who the sponsor is. Haulin' A Movin' Company is sponsoring the show. Thank you, Haulin' A Movin', and that makes you
are the new Streamlabs
superstar sponsor of the day. Haulin' A Movin' with a big bullet. And it's an ad. So let me read the ad here. Haulin' A Movin' Company for when it needed to be there before you called us. We're suspending service from California to Texas. You voted for this shit. Now deal with it. Yes, please do not ruin Texas with Californians for when it needed to be there before you called us. Okay, there you go. We're suspending service from California to Texas. You voted for this shit. Now deal with it. That's a great ad. Thank you again, Haulin' A Movin'. Very, very well done. I appreciate it, and thank you for sponsoring the show. Okay, now let's talk about why David Duke is trending. Well, let me just say that where's the score? Is it? Where'd it go? Oh my gosh, the thing refreshed. I hate when they do that. I'm gonna make this full screen so you can see why David Duke is trending. Shut up.
David Duke.
Oh my goodness, watch your head.
Okay, hang on. Okay, so now unfortunately, when I say David Duke is trending, it's not exactly that David Duke, okay? It's actually this David Duke. David Duke Jr., who's a basketball player in the NBA for the Brooklyn Nets. But what's funny about this is here's David Duke. He's about to dunk on a wizard, okay? So David Duke dunking on a wizard. It's just straight irony. Now, what's also funny about this is Charles Barkley made some, well, not headlines, but he was mentioned a lot yesterday. So this is David Duke with the Monster Slam over a wizard. It's kind of funny that David Duke is dunking on a wizard as opposed to being a wizard. Anyway, Charles Barkley made news yesterday when he said that he in Black History Month he isn't going to call David Duke by his name during Black History Month. He's giving us incredible bits on national television. So, and someone here saying, we got to give this kid a nickname. I can't keep calling him David Duke. Oh, the unfortunate choice of a name by his parents, but there you go. And then there's obviously people out there mentioning, that the other David Duke endorsed Trump for president. Well, guess what? That other David Duke also endorsed Joe Biden. So, it is what it is. That's why he's trending. I just thought it funny that he's dunking on a wizard. Okay, let's move on. Today is the anniversary of the crash that took the life. I'm doing sports. This is the sports section, by the way. Dale Earnhardt Jr., the greatest stock car star of his era, was killed in a crash on the last turn of the last lap of the Daytona 500 as he tries to protect Michael Waltrip's victory. So rest in peace, Dale Earnhardt. What was his name? They called him the Eliminator. That was his nickname, right? Or something like that. Anyway, rest in peace. That was 10 years ago today? No, 2001. 21 years ago today. When we lost Dale Earnhardt, number 3, one of the great race NASCAR drivers, quite the aggressive driver, by the way. Good morning, Duck Dog. Why should he change? It's the other one who sucks. That's true. It is the other one who sucks. Okay, there you go. I watched the C-SPAN them picking the Clinton Foundation apart as a foreign something. Forget what they called it. Nothing happened to her. They told them all the bad she had done, and nothing happened. Yeah, she's talk about Teflon, but. It's funny, Don has a lot of people attacking him publicly, but so does she. Now, there's also something else trending today on Twitter. It says congratulations, Catherine. Now, Catherine, what's her last name? It's in here somewhere. What is her name? Catherine. Oh, Buroker. Buroker. The Ivy League swimming championships were held, I believe, this weekend, maybe yesterday or something. And apparently people are saying that someone named Carolyn Buroker won the 500 freestyle. And that's because people are annoyed that this woman named Leah Thomas actually won the race, but a lot of people are congratulating Carol Roker on finishing. Because now Penn Swimming says Leah Thomas is the Ivy League champion of the 500 free. Her time of 4:37.32 is a new pool record. Congrats! Wow, a new pool record. I wonder if that's a new pool record for everybody or just for people competing in the women's section. Hello, Nomad. Nomad.
Hammer time.
Some of you will understand that. So anyway, this is the length to which
Buroker making the turn currently in second place. And over the last half of the pool, nobody will touch Leah Thomas, who will finish at 4:37.32. Leah Thomas, Ivy League champion
So this
in
is
the 500.
Leah Thomas. Look at the lead that Leah Thomas has here. That's Thomas right there. setting a new pull record, pretty much coasting.
Penn going 1-2 with
her way in,
making the turn currently in second place. And over the last half of the pool, nobody will touch Leah Thomas.
Now, there's no pun intended when he said nobody will touch Leah Thomas. I'm
32,
sorry.
Leah Thomas,
not.
Ivy League champion in the 500 free.
So, and then
second place to Catherine Baroker, another top.
About 8-7 and almost 8 seconds later, Catherine Baroker comes in second. But a lot of people are congratulating Carol Baroker for finishing first just because. Hello, Gen T. And that's all the commentary I'm going to put on that. You can decide for yourself, but that will be in the tabs today. Is that enough news? Okay, now this is the one I wanted to get to, and it's for whatever reason, it's taking forever for this story to be archived through archive.vn, but eventually it will. But I just want to show you this because this is, I'm finding great humor in this. So here's what happens. Whenever the powers that be want something to look terrible, right? They want something to look terrible. They don't like something that's happening. The money people, the power people, and especially when it's something they can't control. So when the truckers have their convoy, usually it's, workers of the world unite. Oh wait, not like that. You can't do it like that because now you're messing with us, right? You're messing with us people who don't really work for a living. Well, I shouldn't say that. The digital class versus the physical class, which I'll get into that later. So here's The Economist. Now, The Economist is pretty reliable in its leftist vision of the world. And so they have an article, which for whatever reason, the archive's taking forever. White power.
You're fucking a white male!
Dark money.
That's racist!
Now, the article is called The Charm of Cryptocurrencies for White Supremacists. This is the new angle they're going to go with when talking about crypto. Because remember, with the truckers, the Give, Send, Go was going to convert a lot of the funds that were donated into crypto, and they're going to try to send that to the truckers via crypto. And the Canadian the Canada Emergency Act, and the whatever you call those people, the tyrants in Canada, aka Trudeau. We're going to say, well, now we're going to regulate how people use crypto too, like as if they could, because they really can't. But you're going to start seeing this now. You're going to start because the powers that be don't want the power of crypto is that, it's kind of outside the grid when it comes to exchanging value of your labor and efforts, right? They want you to use their currencies and not something that they can't control. And they really don't have any way to control crypto because of the blockchain technologies that are kind of keeping it away from them. So now here's the new smear on cryptocurrencies. The charm of cryptocurrencies for white supremacists. Now, it's funny because this is The Economist who says the sharp increase of inflation over the past year has blindsided many economists. Almost no one saw it coming. Well, you jackholes. And there's a lot of people defending crypto because crypto is used by lots of people. In fact, I know a lot of black folks who are really into crypto. In fact, here's one right here. This one says, "Stop this nonsense, please. Bitcoin is for everybody." See, Bitcoin and Black America. That's a book in the Howard University bookstore called Bitcoin and Black America. In fact, my friend Odeb Jesus owns a company that trades crypto called Coinbits app. Okay, and if you're interested in getting into crypto, that's a great app to use. Coinbits app. They don't pay me. I'm not a sponsor. In fact, I'm not a spokesman. I just know the app. And if you want to get into that, that's they have a service and app for trading Bitcoin. Anyway, but the fact that they can't control it is killing them. Is killing them. Now, see, here's someone here who's very adept at learning things and figuring out what the the message is behind this. I wish this is really slow. Eventually that article's going to come out of the queue. But this person is very astute right here, who says, I think this has to do with the Canadian trucker protest. They want to label anyone standing up to this WEF agenda as right-wing white nationalists, since their banking system is controlled and used to shut off resources to the protesters. They need to demonize crypto. Oh, ding! Anyway, so, and this is a great meme, taking the temperature. Oh, clown. Yes, perfectly. So this is the new propaganda that's going to start going around. That is a foreshadowing of things to come. But by the way, do you see the photo they are using for this article? Do you see let me show you this photo. I don't know if it'll do the photo up bigger. Here, look at this photo. Do any of you recognize this? In fact, here, let me make it a little bigger here. Do you recognize this photo of what this is? You know who these are? Remember, anyone who knows who these people are? Why, this looks like Patriot Front. Patriot Front, the very, very, very glowy. I mean, we're talking light just emanating off their presence. Yes, Advocate. This is Patriot Front, who seems to be, well, oh, very good, Tyler F. Yes, it's a photo of feds. It seems to be a very well orchestrated, what's the word? It's almost like a hoax, but you can't say things are a hoax. But it's amazing they use the picture of Patriot Front. In fact, here's the beginning. I can't get to the end of the story because it's taking forever for this to archive. But anyway, let me give you the beginning of this article. On August 11th, 2017, far-right groups from all over America came to Charlottesville, Virginia, to protest against the removal of a Confederate statue. The next day, a white supremacist drove his car into a crowd of counter-protesters, killing one of them. Yeah, by the way, you know what's weird? So, because I at least once a month, I hear something about Charlottesville. I read something about Charlottesville. I read something about this guy who drove into a bunch of counter protesters and killing one of them. And rest in peace to that gal. I'm just saying. Now, in the aftermath, but what's funny? There was a recent incident in Wisconsin where a guy drove through a Christmas parade deliberately driving through people, killing a few. And I'm not hearing much about him at all. Now, maybe it's because, I don't know, it's not the demographics are wrong, or, I just don't get it. In fact, and also, there's a case in Louisville, Kentucky, where a right-wing nut job, white supremacist adjacent black man who's with BLM tried to assassinate a Democrat mayoral candidate. And he got bailed out of jail using Black Lives Matter funds. They're still, they aren't talking about that a whole hell of a lot either. Just weird. Anyway, in the aftermath, PayPal, an online payment platform whose terms of service forbid raising money to promote hate, suspended extremists' accounts. So did Apple Pay and Google Wallet. Visa and Discover, two credit card firms, followed suit, as did Patreon, a crowdfunding site. Far-right groups found themselves in search of other places to raise money, with many of them embraced was cryptocurrency. The Southern Poverty Law Center, Grievance Grifters Extraordinaire, an advocacy group, has identified over 600 cryptocurrency addresses used by members of the far right. They include one associated with Andrew Anglin, publisher of a neo-Nazi website, The Daily Stormer, Andrew Arenheimer, wow, there's a lot of Andrews, a white supremacist hacker, and Don Black, ironic name, founder of the White Power Online Forum. They advertise their wallets on their websites and social media asking for donations, and they get them. Now, the next line, I can't read the rest because it's not in here, and the archive page is taking forever, but it says, then they go, Stefan Molyneux, a far-right podcaster who was ousted from YouTube, has received over $1.67 million in Bitcoin. Oh my goodness, Stefan Molyneux. Oh, he's an awful human being. He's kind of strange, but he's very little concern to me. Anyway, that's going to be their angle for trying to shut down Bitcoin, is that it's being used by far-right groups and white supremacists and white nationalists and those dirty Trumpians. All right, let's go back to, we have a sponsor. We have another sponsor, and that today it's Tyre Alexander, and this is a sponsor, so just listen to the music while I read the commercial here. Thank you, Tyre Alexander, with a small bullet for the show, who says, today's sponsor is H. Clinton. H. Clinton would like to announce that these allegations are a Republican fabrication and a part of Russians trying to deflect from the invasion of Ukraine. Remember, Trump is a Putin puppet, and I am just an old grandmother. H. Clinton, new sponsor of the Morning Night Live. Thank you. Thank you very much, Tyre Alexander. Appreciate you very much. That was another great ad. Tyre is a prolific writer of ads, and we enjoy you very much. And so is Duck Dog, and Gunfox writes a lot of good ads, and Maddie's written a couple. There are a lot of very creative people in the house. Anyway, when this article, which is taking forever to archive, so I can read the rest of it, it'll be in the tabs below. At least the link to it will be, I hope. So we'll see. Anyway, all right, let's move on. This was interesting. Joe Rogan had this guy named Andrew Dessler, the other side, to represent the mainstream narrative on climate change. So he's a mainstream climate change person. And he said something very interesting because, when we talk about science, he's minding me with science, When we talk about science is not something that is static. Science is a process, right? It's not something that you can just say, well, follow the science, because science is a process. And so science is always in process, and we always learn new things. There's always things. But this guy says something very interesting, and I'm actually going to let me do real quick. Pause the music here, because this I want you to hear. This is a fascinating reason. This guy's going to tell you, though. He's going to tell you why he's not interested in talking to people who or debating people when it comes to you'll hear. Have
you debated anyone?
When it comes to climate change, okay, they're talking about, this is a guy who's on the mainstream narrative of climate change, and this is an interesting question by Joe Rogan, and this is an interesting answer by Mr. Dressler. Here we go.
Have you debated anyone about this? I have not debated anybody about this. Actually, I take it back. I debated this person, Richard Lindzen, in 2010. My feeling is that I won't debate the science. So the science is set. Earth. We're temperature's warming. Humans are the cause. I'm happy to debate.
The science is set. The Earth is warming. Humans are the cause. Interesting. So, there is some science that says that this is not the first time the Earth has warmed. In fact, one of these days, I will produce that shirt. Global warming. Ever since the Ice Age. But someone might beat me to it. I don't know. But anyway, let's hear the rest.
Policy, because I think policy needs to be debated. So if someone wants to debate energy policy with me,
why wouldn't you debate the science?
Because the science has already been debated in the scientific system.
I understand that, but to the average person that gets confused and doesn't know whether or not you're correct or Steve Koonin is correct,
yeah. So I think
a debate would be very beneficial.
I disagree with that entirely because
how so?
Because in a one-on-one debate, without the ability to fact check people, so let's
why
say,
couldn't you fact check them in real life?
In real time.
Yeah,
because how do I do that? He says this paper says this, and I'm saying, do you want me to read the paper?
Yeah.
Well, it would be a debate that would take a week.
Okay,
so we'd do a week. I don't even think it would take a week, but there's certain points that you could get where you would go over them, and we could kind of establish those points in advance. Like where's the contention? Like where's the disagreement? And why does he feel this way? And why do you feel this way? And I feel like if we established like a set of parameters or a set of areas of contention,
this guy won't do it.
Well, we can certainly talk about that. I think we need to work that out. But let me just sort of finish what I was saying. That the scientific system of peer-reviewed papers followed by Oh,
you mean the ones that are funded by government agencies and people who only have one idea about this and want to maintain power? He's one of those guys.
Replication, important results are always replicated by other people.
And things they haven't replicated except for models? Really? I don't think this guy could even debate me on this.
That's how science determines.
I'm not a scientist. I just read a lot.
What is right, and I feel strongly that in the one debate,
and especially on the policy side of it. Okay, so their models and or determinations of saying that there's nothing that we could do that would significantly change the course right now. And yet they want to make us do all these changes of the course. And also there's a problem. Well, there's also a lag problem because in core samples, there's areas where the change of carbon levels didn't change till after the climate change. So how do they explain that lack of correlation between what they're saying now? But, I'm not a scientist. I can't ask these questions. That would make me a denier. No, the Earth is the climate's absolutely changing. How about that's not denying climate. If you say the climate's absolutely changing. The climate is absolutely changing. It's a very, very, very long process that, but they're saying that humans exclusively are causing the change of climate. Well, then pretty sure there's been examples of change of climate in the past. In fact, like I said, ever since the Ice Age, this beautiful Earth, this beautiful round blue ball that we live on has been changing. The climate has been changing gradually for thousands and thousands of years, and it goes up and it goes down, and we don't know the Earth's correct temperature. We don't know. And anyway.
I did do. I thought it was terrible and was a waste of my time, and I said I would never do that again. But policy is different. Policies are value judgments, and I think you do have to have public debates about that. So I think we do need to get out there and advocate
because they're science.
For what
they had to change the temperature record, by the way, to make their models seem like they were correct. But I'm not saying anything. Who knows? It could be whatever. They just. But it's funny because this New World Order, excuse me, not the New World Order, the Great Reset that Justin Trudeau mentioned a while back. I got a feeling that there's going to be another emergency declaration by Justin Trudeau or other governments saying, we must do this now, and we must do this now, so we're going to have this is an emergency. And when you're under an emergency, as Rahm Emanuel famously said, we're never going to let a good crisis go to waste, and that's why they continually call it a climate crisis. And so, we're in crisis, and there must be draconian things done by your government that must be done to avert a crisis that's not really a crisis. Now, wait a minute. I had another thought, but I can't remember what it was. Anyway, let's hear this jackhole.
We think we should do.
What he said is that he got into this because he brought a bunch of people together to discuss what the science is, and he said the science is not nearly as settled as he thought it was when he first started examining it, and that's why he wrote this book.
Yes, because science is a series of questions and tests and answers and more tests and things that continually change. But no, this guy's the science. His science is settled. His science is settled. Yeah.
That's why he took a deep dive into the data.
That may well be true. I can't comment on why he did what he did.
Well, that is why he did what he did. That's what he said. But the point is, like, when someone hears him or when someone hears you, there's people that would hear you and go, well, this guy's not right because Steve Koonen's right. And I heard Steve Koonen say this. And then there's people that hear you and go, well, he's
Joe,
right and Steve Koonen is wrong.
You are
because Steve Koonen left out all these different things and he was incorrect about that.
Science
and he was
denial,
way too
Joe
lenient
Rogan.
on the government.
This is why you should no longer be on the air because you are questioning science.
It can
You're
be
questioning
explained
science
in a way that a rational person could have a more informed opinion.
I didn't mean to go all Sam Kinison on you. Someone mentioned Sam Kinison, and I can't help it now. It makes me want to go all Sam Kinison. So anyway, that's fascinating. Imagine this debate would take a week. Then let's do a week. Yeah, exactly. Let's do a month. We can do a month-long debate. Let's bring out all the data from thousands of years of ice cores. Okay, it's my planet, and I'll destroy it if I want to. You would. Okay. It's my planet, I'll destroy it if I want to. You would try it if it was trying to kill you. Okay, that's cute to have a costume. But I couldn't fit the words in very well. Okay, you probably had that thought out better than I did because I did that on the fly. But anyway, moving on, what else is in the news? Well, this woman named Allison Collins. Okay, Allison Collins is one of the school board members in the city of San Francisco who got yeeted by the voters and said, get the thing out of here because you're a moron. And so now she's very, very upset that she has been being removed from the school board. So she's using the usual grifter tactics and language to say that the people in San Francisco are racist. The most racist city in America, San Francisco, California. So here's Allison Collins, who got yeeted from the school board, who says, it is amazing how powerful the need to restrict Black immigrant and Native American self-determination when it results in changes for folks who benefit from the status quo. This backlash is happening because we effectively centered unheard voices and redistributed power. Now, she's talking about the school board and the kids in San Francisco, which I have a reply to this, but let me continue what she writes here because she's stupid. She continues and says, all of the grievances listed by recallers are the policies taken on by the board as a result of community organizing to create safe educational spaces for students. That includes cultural safety, classrooms free of racial abuse, and dehumanizing curricula and imagery. The local recaller backlash shares traits with broader efforts to, quote, take our country back. The more progress you make, the more pushback you get. We see this happening nationally. There's a lot to analyze about the recall. I encourage folks to do so using racism as a critical lens. So only look at this through racism. Now, I'm not going to read the rest of her stride because she's saying that this recall is because you can only look at it as a process of racism, right? Now, this is San Francisco, the San Francisco school board, where she got yeeted from, right? Here's one problem, though. Okay, so the San Francisco School Board, or excuse me, San Francisco schools, now they say they're trying to make this a better place for Black and whatever, immigrant and Native Americans, right? So I thought the reply is, the problem is, though, the city of San Francisco, the school board, San Francisco Public Schools, SPD, have been completely ineffective at teaching children, particularly Black, immigrant, and Native Americans. And why I say that is, now they count Asians as white people in San Francisco, by the way, just so you know. Because the achievement gap, they have this kind of a measure for achievement gap. In the San Francisco public schools, they have one of the highest achievement gaps in the nation. Okay, Black, immigrant, which means Hispanic, but California speak, and Native American students have the highest, the highest achievement gap between them and white students. Now remember, they count Asians as white in San Francisco because there's too many smart Asians and they don't like smart people. So anyway, the highest achievement gap in the country is in the San Francisco schools. And in fact, we find there's almost there is a correlative relationship between how progressive your school system is and the achievement gap. Less progressive school districts, there's a lower achievement gap, meaning the amount of the gap in achievement between certain populations and other populations. So in San Francisco, white and Asians, because Asians are white in San Francisco, versus Black, Hispanic, and indigenous students, or whatever, Native American, whatever you want to call them. Okay, high achievement gap, and in districts that are less progressive, there are lower achievement gaps across the country. So maybe some of the people who are voters in San Francisco said, we're tired of you fuckfaces. We're going to get rid of you three idiots who prioritize everything but the educational experience of our children, and worried about woke shit. We're going to get rid of you and maybe bring some people in who are more concerned about educating children and not having your progressive politics dominate the school system. So they said, bye, bye, get out, fuck you, goodbye, get the hell out of here. So, sorry, Allison Collins, we are not going to miss you. Goodbye. All right, moving on. The ACLU is in the trends today. The ACLU of Virginia filed a lawsuit. Now, this is amazing. This is amazing. The ACLU is, let's just say the ACLU has kind of changed its mission to woke politics and not actual civil liberties. The ACLU of Virginia filed a lawsuit challenging a statewide executive order that allows parents of children in public school to choose whether or not their child adheres to mask mandates in class, citing the American with Disabilities Act and the Rehabilitation Act. So they're going to hide behind a tiny minority of children, somehow using the American with Disabilities Act to force Virginia, the state of Virginia and school board, to reinstitute mask mandates. Now, this is amazing. And they're saying, in fact, they're out here, see you in court, Governor Youngkin. Governor said Wednesday he hopes there will be no more legal challenges over the issue as school division work to comply with the March 1st deadline to make masks optional. They said to make masks optional. The ACLU is out here saying American civil liberties, mind you, is what the ACLU stands for, civil liberties. They are filing a lawsuit to force people to wear masks. What? Remember, when the ACLU, and this is a good point here, remember when the ACLU used to defend civil liberties instead of whining about unmasked 5-year-olds? Now, that was cool. In fact, I wish I had one of those Chris Farley memes to put out in front of you. But anyway, so, yay. Moving on, New York City mayor wants CEOs to bring their workforces back to the office, but most employees are saying, fuck that. We're just as productive working at home. New York City Mayor Eric Adams is pushing for CEOs to bring employees back into the office so that local businesses can thrive. But a Pew Research study shows that 60% of workers would rather stay remote and work from home than return to the office. This is an interesting thing that they forced on us, right? They forced a lot of these companies to get people to work from office and now from home, and now they want them to come back to the city so people will spend money and bring in tax revenue to the city. This is quite the dilemma for some of these big cities who, especially in New York City, where they had the very, very restrictive, stupid 19 restrictions. That was redundant, but whatever. And now they want them to come back, and the workers said, I kind of like this working from home thing. Hey, the company's saying, hey, we could save a lot of money not renting office space in your giant city where the taxes are incredibly high. This might be the fall of New York City. I'm serious. Between the crime and the tax base that's wanting to leave, a lot of it leaving the city, leaving the state for that matter. So anyway, there's a couple of articles, one in Bloomberg, one in Forbes. You can, in fact, let's see, it says here, New York Mayor Adams met with 100 CEOs in order to encourage them to bring their workers back to the office because he wants them coming in there and going to the city, working in the office and eating lunch at some little local deli or restaurant or whatever. And I think companies are going to figure out that they can save themselves some money with renting fewer office space. Careful what you ask for when you have a pandemic. Pandemonium. Moving on. Now this is this is the last article. This is the last one I wanted to get to. Now I'm going to leave the music off. In fact, let's just kick these last two links closed. All right, here's the last article I wanted to get to, and I'm not gonna be able to get to it. But here's an important article for you to read. I really want you to read it. In fact, not only do I want you to read this because it's I'm going to put it in the chat, and it'll also be in the link below. But this is a great article talking about how hang on. Oh, sorry, the tweet first. Simply astounding analysis of what's really happening in Ottawa and other working class protests around the world. It explains, and it also explains why Elon Musk chose the side he did in this battle. In many ways, he's the perfect embodiment of a physical mentioned in the article. So what the article does, it puts people in two classes, not like ruling class or elite class versus working class. Oh, Lady Boomer, hi. Hope you all have a great day. Pretty sure P-Dawg and I will live stream this Saturday. Okay, well there we go. We will be streaming from the trail stop this Saturday. So hello, honey. Nice to see you in the chat. If you can hear me, I don't know if you can. Say hi to Lady Boomer, everybody. So this is amazing analysis. Hello, Data Wasteland. An amazing analysis talking where instead of separating into like the elite to the versus the versus working class, he splits people up into people who live in the physical world or work in the physical world or the physical side of life versus the virtual side of life. Okay, so and it's a great article explaining how this trucker thing, because the virtual people who live in the virtuals kind of rule the world. They kind of control what your they kind of control, like they control your finances. They control what you can say in public. Because all the public communication is virtual now. All the your banking is almost all virtual. The way you exchange the value of your labor, your value and effort, the value of your labor and or efforts, okay, and how this fight right now is between people who bring you your food and you people who just buy your food through Uber Eats and shit, right? So the truckers are the physical. They're having this you know, they're revolting against this virtual these virtual mandates, right? And so it's a great article. I wish I had time to go through it right now, but I don't. But I definitely want you to read this article. It is fantastic, and it is probably the most. It certainly rivals what Hotep Jesus did the other day in his video. This is a great article. I just highly recommend it. And on that note, that's what I got to finish the show because I got to get to my other gig here. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for joining me today on the Morning Night Live. As I always do, every article and link to all the tweets and links and whatnot will be in the description down below in a single link. I also have put oh wait, real quick, let me just one meme for today. We'll do one meme because this one's a good one. Let me see if I can fit it on the screen. I don't know if this was from the Babylon Bee or what, but I thought it was kind of funny. Here it is. Socialists condemn workers of the world for uniting. I think it's funny. But look, here's the thing. People in the physical world, I think, are reminding people who are in the virtual world where they get their food from. You think? So anyway, in the tab in the link below, all the articles, including my profile pages from Gab, Minds, CloudHub, Parler, and what's the other one? Getter, and eventually Truth Social. If you're not on Twitter and you want to be able to get notifications, you can use any of those platforms. I notify people every day on those. Most of my activity happens to be on Twitter and Instagram, but Instagram's a whole different thing. I don't do any of the political stuff there, but if you're interested in my Instagram, that's Marty, where I just kind of do entertaining things on there. I don't do anything political on Instagram. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here today. I appreciate you dropping in. I am here Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, for anyone who cares about Central Time. Before you go, hit the like button right now before you forget, and share the stream before, during, and after the stream. If you're watching on replay, put a comment in the comment section so that I can thank you for dropping in. And finally, to sponsor the show, well, you know how to do it. It's in the description down below. Cashapp, Venmo, and PDawgKnight.live for Streamlabs and the YouTube SuperChats. So anyway, we will be streaming from the Trail Stop Tavern tomorrow. Lady Boomer and I, who's in the chat right now. Thanks, everybody. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. If I don't see you before Monday, thanks for being here. I gotta go. My name is PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is PDawgKnight, and thanks for watching today on the PDawgKnight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cashapp, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here.